after I got there, but it, I mean, that's just how, you know, backwards it was. I mean, but really, there was they had just, there was a mule stable down there that they had they just closed it in and made something else out of it, like a year or two before I got there.
That's well. Okay. That's well. I have to. One of my sisters-in-law lived here quite a long ways after me. Probably 12 years. I have to tell her. I've got to check my email for this order of service. Excuse me. We're not usually this disorganized. What? Maybe I just put them away. It's here. I was just going by my. If my book disagrees with the order of service, we're going to have a problem. That's all there is to it. All right. I based what I put together on what you sent me. Yeah. So it should be correct. I checked it, but please check it again if that's the number. Hopefully it looks good. And you'll do Joyce and ours and yeah. So is this the clock we go by? Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're talking about, so we're 15 minutes out.
I've got about 13 minutes of music, so I'm going to start in
All right.
a couple minutes. Can I edit this thing here? Maybe? Okay. So, if it goes gathering music and then prelude, do you just want to give us the nod when to start the prelude or something?
Sure. You can start on your own time too.
Okay, all right, okay. Go ahead and start. Give me a couple of minutes in between. We'll just start the prelude on our own, so just watch for me.
Welcome to virtual worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro. I'm Betsy Lindsay, and I am a member of this congregation. We are not meeting in person today because of the COVID numbers here in Guilford County. We have a skeleton crew here to bring this service to you via streaming. Unitarian Universalists believe that each person has a trustworthy relationship with the Spirit, with the Holy, with the source of all life, with what some call God, though we name it and know it differently from one another. And we believe that because we are interconnected, nobody is free until we are all free. So we strive to build beloved community here on earth and in our fellowship with one another and in our work for justice. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you have found your way here, welcome. I want to extend a very warm welcome to our guest musicians today. They are Eric Thomas and Helen Wolfson, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one of them before we get started. Eric has been playing guitar since 1965. He began by playing the rock and roll, rhythm and blues, and beach music tunes that were popular in the mid and late 60s. Over the years, he's played a wide range of material in a number of different bands. He's played in venues ranging from coffee houses to private parties and from rock and roll clubs to country clubs. These experiences have enabled him to incorporate the blues, traditional acoustic, and country tunes into his musical inventory. More recently, his collaboration with Helen has launched him into the world of Celtic music, lyrical waltzes, and other music that he never imagined he would play. Helen Wolfson began playing the hammered dulcimer in 1993. Her initial traditional hammered dulcimer repertoire has been greatly enriched by her collaboration with Eric. Today, you're as likely to hear her backing up Eric on his original vocals or playing the blues as you are to hear her playing fiddle tunes, waltzes, and popular standards. As a soloist, Helen has played for numerous private parties, weddings, and other events. She is also certified by the Music for Healing and Transition program as a music practitioner, and plays therapeutic music at the bedside for people in physical or emotional pain. Finally, Helen offers dulcimer lessons both in person and online. Feel free to say hi in the chat. And now, if you know by heart our traditional chalice lighting, please feel free to join me. Michelle Lee, our board president, will come forward to light our chalice. We light this chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, to remind us to connect in spirituality and service, to care for each other in the world, and to create loving community. Next, we will speak our church covenant. Again, if you're familiar, please go ahead and feel free to speak along with me at home. We, members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro, do covenant to promote a search for personal meaning, respecting the individual truth in a community process of quest. Speak and act with caring, courtesy, and love, thereby maintaining emotional, physical, and spiritual safety for all. Support UUCG and denominational efforts with our resources. Combat injustice while promoting equality. Nurture our children on their spiritual journey. Hold ourselves to this covenant, especially during times of conflict and disagreement. And I turn to Eric now for our opening words.
We're going to do the prelude now.
Oh, sorry, we're going to do the prelude now.
Our opening words are from Albert Schweitzer, noted philosopher, physician, and musician. Joy, sorrow, tears, lamentation, laughter. To all these, music gives voice, but in such a way that we are transported from the world of unrest to a world of peace, and see reality in a new way, as if we were sitting by a mountain lake and contemplating hills and woods and clouds in the tranquil and fathomless water.
As a therapeutic musician, I play music in hospitals, hospice facilities, assisted living communities, and homes for people who are in emotional or physical distress. The idea that music can be healing is not new. It goes back thousands of years. I don't know exactly how the human brain processes music, but I do know that over the years, a number of people have expressed to me the feeling that the music that I play goes straight into the heart. In so doing, it can loosen emotions that have been walled off. It can ease pain. One well-known story of healing music is that of King Saul and the harper David. This version comes from a book that has been a favorite of mine since I was a child, From Long Ago in Many Lands by Sophia Lyons-Faz. King Saul was his country's first king. His people were newcomers in the country of Canaan, but the people who had been living in Canaan for hundreds of years thought that the land belonged to them. They were not happy to have foreigners settling in their land, and fighting soon broke out. Being a king in a little country that had never before had a king was not at all easy. But it was still harder when the people who'd been living there before thought that their country had been wrongfully stolen from them. Perhaps having to live in a fortress with armed soldiers around everywhere all the time made King Saul nervous. Or perhaps hearing stories of fighting and killing day after day was more than he could stand. At any rate, before long, King Saul became a sick and discouraged man. Spells would come on him when he did not seem to know what he was doing. King Saul's family became frightened and could not think what to do for him. Finally, someone suggested that a young man be found who could play on the harp, and that he be brought to the palace to live, so that whenever the king felt one of his sick spells coming upon him, the boy might be called to play pleasant and quieting music for the king. On hearing of this plan, someone at court said, "I know just the young man for the king. His name is David, and he is a shepherd boy who lives near Bethlehem. He plays the harp beautifully." So David, the shepherd boy, was sent for, and he came to the palace, and he became one of the king's servants. Immediately he was taken notice of because of his friendly ways. King Saul loved to sit and listen to the music David's fingers could bring out of his harp. Whenever the king felt a sick spell coming, David would be quickly called. As the sweet tones rippled through the room, the king would slowly become calm again, and by the time the music ended, he would be feeling much better.
Today, we want to talk to you about music, or to be more accurate, we want to let our music speak directly to you. So we'll be playing music more than we'll be talking, and we hope that the music will work its magic on you. Music consists of things like tone, timbre, pitch, melody, harmony, and rhythm. These are things that most people can perceive and integrate in their brains, and somehow these qualities can induce strong emotional responses. If you poke around on the web, you can find all sorts of information about music, language, emotion, and how they're all connected. There's some fascinating information out there, but today we're going to stay at a gut level. Today we want to take you on a journey through those opening words from Albert Schweitzer, using our music to illustrate some of the power of the language of music. Schweitzer tells us that music gives voice to joy, sorrow, tears, lamentation, and laughter. We would add to his list peace, relaxation, catharsis, and the sharing of common experience. Furthermore, as any dance fan knows, music can be energizing, and music can paint pictures in our brains. Even instrumental music with no lyrics at all can do a fine job of conveying an emotion or an image. We hope to give you a taste of all of these things this morning.
Although I wrote my first piece in 2010, the process of creating music continues to mystify me. But one constant seems to be that whatever I come up with conveys, to me at least, an image or an emotion. Sometimes that content precedes the music, and sometimes the music precedes the content, or at least precedes my conscious recognition of the content, and sometimes it even takes someone else to suggest to me what the content is. One morning, I woke up early and went to the dulcimer with the clear intent of creating something, but with no idea what it would be. I was startled by the ease with which this piece emerged. When I played it for Eric later that morning, he said, "It sounds very swoopy." And instantly my mind flew to Star Island, the UU Retreat Center off the coast of New Hampshire, a place that we both love. I saw the swallows there swooping and diving against the sunset splash sky, so I named the piece Dance of the Swallows. Now, whenever I play this piece, I see those swallows. And I hope you can see them too, even if you've never heard of Star Island before.
Or, as Eric Olson put it, music is what life sounds like. These things are true of music whether or not it has lyrics, but lyrics certainly help with the specifics of communications. Songs can be cathartic for both the composer and for the listener. In the summer of 2010, within a period of less than 3 weeks, both my father and Helen's father died. One night, when Helen was having a particularly difficult time, she said to me, "I feel as if someone tore a hole in the sky." Her words resonated with me, and as I thought about my relationship to my own father, I wrote this song. As you'll come to understand, it was a while before I could get all the way through without breaking down. The death of a parent is something that many of us experience, and it's different for each of us. This song tells how it was for me. I call it Hole in the World. There's a hole in the world where the old man should be. After all we've been through, what he means to me. The good times, the bad times, complex history. Remembering just makes me sad. I'm sitting here missing my dad. Born on a farm back in old Caroline, with the mules and tobacco and the loblolly pines. With no education, he'd start off behind. His mind was stuck in the past, but the future is coming up fast. 1951, a boomer baby is born, a new baby son on a hot August morn. The man was so proud of his firstborn, he tried as hard as he can to make me his kind of man. Now me and my dad, we never see eye to eye. I couldn't be him, I didn't even try. Hard feelings we had in an oversupply, our relationships battered and bruised, with anger and love all confused. Years later in life, he came through for me. When I lost my wife to a horrid disease, he saw the man I'd come to be. Now losing my wife was so bad, somehow now I've regained my dad. Several years more he lived on from then. During that time we became friends, but so much in common we had in the end. I treasure the time we had when I could say I love my dad. Now there's a hole in the world where the old man should be. After all we've been through, what he means to me. The good times, the bad times, complex history, remembering just makes me sad. I'm sitting here missing my dad. Yeah, remembering just makes me sad. I'm sitting here missing my dad.
Instrumental music, because it lacks words, is particularly effective at evoking multiple, sometimes even conflicting emotions at the same time. Wistfulness is one such conflict. It usually involves feeling sad about something that used to make you happy in the past, but is no longer in the present. Eric wrote this piece shortly before our fathers died, while he was feeling wistful, thinking about his aging parents living on the farm where they raised him in Wilson, North Carolina. He called it The Old Folks at Home. Over the years, we found that people keep coming up with ideas for words for this piece, but we've kept it as an instrumental so that it can evoke something personal for each listener. Feel free to close your eyes and let yourself experience the music in your own unique way.
Whatever the weather or the current news, it is a joy to be together. We gather in gratitude this morning, turning our hearts to thanks and praise for the gift of living, in the knowledge, for the gift of living in the presence of the Spirit that animates all life, and in the knowledge that we are powerfully, profoundly connected to all that is, all that has been, and all that will be. I invite you now to offer the names of those people on your hearts, living or dead, near or far, that this community might hold them in prayer and in love. You can type them in the comments or the chat, and those watching at home can see who is on your heart today. Helen is going to lead us in a guided meditation.
I did put it on Do Not Disturb, but the alarm for our church service just went off. So please join me now in a brief guided meditation. I invite you to find as comfortable a position as you can, to close your eyes, and to focus on your breath. First, simply watch your breath as it enters and leaves your lungs. There's no right way or wrong way. As long as you continue breathing, you're good. Now, as you breathe in, notice your lungs expanding. Notice your rib cage moving up and out. And as you breathe out, feel them contracting. If thoughts of your life outside this place intrude, gently and respectfully set them aside. They'll be there for you and you for them when our time together ends. As you set them aside, return your focus to your breath. Now, if you choose, allow your breathing to slow down a bit. You might lengthen your exhalation so that it takes more time than the inhalation. Both these things are known to help in stressful situations. Now notice the moment between inhalation and exhalation. Notice the moment between exhalation and inhalation. These are the times when your body is most still. As you continue to slowly breathe in and out, embrace this stillness. Notice how it feels to be still, and let us now be still together.
You may have noticed that your heart rate slowed while Helen was playing. Perhaps you felt your muscles relax. In her work as a therapeutic musician, Helen often uses music with a slow, steady beat to calm people, both physically and emotionally. After living with Helen and her dulcimer since 1998, I now have a nearly Pavlovian response to this kind of music. She starts playing and I relax and go to sleep. So to save you from that fate, we'll move on. Schweitzer's list of things to which music gives voice includes laughter. While it's true that instrumental music can evoke laughter, I get a lot of help from lyrics. I'm retired now, but I used to work in the information technology sector of a large pharmaceutical company. Over the years, I found myself frustrated by various aspects of the work. To cope with the frustration, I developed a genre of music that I call occupational angst music. I found that by venting my frustration in song, I could relieve myself of some of the stress. I also discovered that I could make people laugh, and I love making people laugh. This next piece is from my occupational angst suite, and it is completely autobiographical. I call it Single-Tasking Person in a Multitasking World. Even if you've never had to deal with email, voicemail, and instant messenger, I expect you will relate to how it feels by having I'm a single-tasking person in a multitasking world. Juggle all day, can't stand it. Juggling too many balls in the air. This ain't the way that I planned it. Well, I go to work early in the morning. I have most of my life. I leave the home, I leave the family, leave my kids and my wife. I get to my work, then it all starts. A flood of stuff showers down. Computer lights up and the phones all ring. The office fills up with sound. I'm a single-tasking person in a multitasking world. Too much going on at the same time. My life goes like a mad till the whirl. What it does to me is a real crime. Well, email, junk mail, voicemail, snail mail, instant messaging too. People dropping by just to say hi, phone calls add to the stew. Fire drill projects dropped in my lap only add to the gloom. Sometimes I think I'm gonna cry and run screaming from the room. I'm a single-tasking person in a multitasking world. Too much going on, my brain's fried. Mountains of minutia, headaches galore. Sometimes I wanna go high. Once in my life I like to work on something till I am done. To finish up by the end of the day, that would be fun. Too much to do at the same time, it's driving me wild. I swear this job is making me an ADD poster child. I'm a single-tasking person in a multitasking world. Juggle all day, I can't stand it. Juggling too many balls in the air. This ain't the way that I planned it. Single-tasking person in a multitasking world. Too much going on, I can't stand it. Headaches, ulcers, going insane. I just can't understand it. Yeah, this ain't the way that I planned it. This morning, we're trying to give you a sampling of the language of music. This language can do many things, and we're only scratching the surface here. We play pieces that can make you laugh, others that bring tears. The music we play can evoke nostalgia or make Helen's aging godmother tap her feet. And for us, the joy of making music together is one of the things that brings us closer as we grow in age. We want to share this joy by playing a piece that never fails to make us happy. This is a waltz that Helen wrote when she was adjusting to a major change in her life. She calls it Silver Lining Waltz. I love how this piece shifts from a restrained, slightly pensive mode to outright exuberance, reflecting her shift from focusing on her loss to focusing on what the future might hold.
Eric and I view our cosmological perspective in layers. We're UUs, we're humanists, and we're atheists. Many people outside Unitarian Universalism have not a clue what a Unitarian Universalist is. And many people, even within a Unitarian Universalist fellowship, have no clue what a humanist is. But everyone thinks they know what an atheist is. And many of them, present company accepted, think That an atheist is a person who, because she or he doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in anything. Eric wrote this song to counter that perception. We found that even deeply religious people love this song. It's a way of making our atheism less scary and more familiar. Somehow, putting the thoughts to music makes it easier to hear and relate to them. I think this phenomenon is partly due to the fact that people are unlikely to interrupt someone who's singing, as opposed to talking, and therefore more likely to hear you out. But I also think it's true that music can envelop difficult parts of a message in a palatable wrapper. Here, Eric gets the difficult part over before my hammers even touch the strings, and the rest is hard to disagree with, no matter what your cosmological perspective is.
I live in the world of the here and the now, with no supernatural and no sacred cows. I try to be open and not preconceive the nature of things I believe. Sometimes I'm asked just what I believe. Do I only believe in things I can perceive? But the world I can see is splendid indeed. I'll tell you just what I believe. I believe in the wonder on the face of a child, and the thrill of a kiss, and the warmth of a smile, a lover's caress, and the love I receive. In all these things I believe. I believe in science and I believe in art, the fruits of the mind and the gifts of the heart, all the wonderful things that the mind can conceive. In all these things I believe. I believe in the heart, I believe in the mind, in fairness and justice for all humankind. From tyrants and dogmas, we all should be free. In all these things I believe. When I see the night sky, view scenic vistas, or watch a bird fly, my heart fills to bursting. To this world I'll cleave. In all these things I believe. When my life's over and it's time to go, I'll live on in memories of people I know. When they recall my words or my deeds, I will live on, I believe. I believe in the heart, I believe in the mind, I believe that no one should be left behind. The connections we make and the web that we weave, in all these things I believe. I believe in the heart, I believe in the mind, in the potential of all humankind. I believe in the greatness that we can achieve. In all these things I believe.
One of the ways that we live out our mission to create loving community is to contribute financially to the ministries of this congregation and to the good work of our community partners. If you'd like to make a contribution via PayPal to the church for our offering to be split with the Good Neighbor Movement, you can do so on our website. You can also mail a check. Our offering will now be safely, gratefully received. Helen and Eric, thank you so much for this wonderful service that you've given us. I personally really appreciate the gift of music you've given us, and I'm sure I can speak for everybody at home that they probably do too. Myself, I was at times moved to tears, and other times I just wanted to get up and dance. So I think you did a great job of helping us experience the meaning of Dr. Schweitzer's words that you spoke in the beginning. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to extinguish our chalice. Feel free to speak along with me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I do have one announcement before the benediction. Due to the COVID numbers in our community, we are postponing the 11:15 religious exploration classes until it is safe for everyone to be together again in person.
We want to thank you all for having us, and we want to close with two of our favorite, very different quotes about music. The first is from John Erskine, an American educator, author, pianist, and composer. He says, "Music is the only language in which you cannot say a mean or sarcastic thing."
And from the inimitable Hunter S. Thompson, "Music has always been a matter of energy to me, a question of fuel. Sentimental people call it inspiration, but what they really mean is fuel. I've always needed fuel. I'm a serious consumer. On some nights, I still believe that a car empty can run about 50 miles more if you have the right music very loud on the radio." Go in peace, my friends. Go in peace.